Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I'll add a voice of radio. So today, we're going to be looking at one of the coolest, and I mean that very literally, Pokémon TCG products I have ever shown you. And I'm going to be honest with you, the chances of you or I ever owning this is basically zero. Sorry about that. Essentially, what's gone on was that the Pokemon Company have gone and sent a bunch of Pokemon TCG illustrators a special deck. Now, it's not just a deck, it comes in a big wooden box, and it's got a lovely letter inside explaining what it is. And then it's got an actual deck of cards. It is absolutely beautiful. Incidentally, there are a bunch of exclusive cards. There are only two that are really noteworthy, but there are a bunch that are very, very noteworthy. So yeah, this is kind of amazing. Now, I think we need to start with Chansey. Chansey is the one that really just sets this off. Now, all of these images are from various illustrators' social media accounts. So, Lee Hyung-yun has shared this picture of Chansey, and this is an actual Pokemon card. Now, you'll notice it is a foil card. It is all foiled. You'll notice it has the 25th anniversary stamp. And remember, that is what the 25th anniversary stamp looked like over in Japan. Over here, we got the Pikachu face. And over in Japan, they got the far more reserved. But I don't know, I think I might prefer it, as weird as that seems. Just the little square with the 25 written in. Either way, that is what the scan looked like over in Japan. Now, this Chansey will look familiar. And it will also look a little bit different. Because it is base set Chansey, kind of. Essentially, what we've got here is a test run, an early prototype version of base set Chansey. And when I told you this is one of the coolest things we've ever seen, this is one good reason for it. Seeing old prototype Pokemon cards, we don't see them very often at all. But it is one of the things that makes me absolutely delighted. And you'll notice it's got a bit more HP, and you'll notice that Double Edge does 50 to itself rather than 80. Although you'll notice that the art, and it's, you know, a bit different in terms of how long has clearly gone in. This is very much a prototype card, but it is the same artwork, just, you know, knocked up nice and quickly. And I absolutely adore this. Now, this is bad news, incidentally, if you are a collector of Chansey cards, because this just became the rarest, most exclusive Chansey they've ever released, and the fact of the matter is, we are almost certainly never going to see this release. Now, as a side note, could this ever get a commercial release? Almost certainly not. Because this has happened before. There was a 20th anniversary deck box and a little GX marker keyring, which was sent out in a very similar way to this a few years ago. And thank you to the lovely Primal Lugia over at PokeGuardian, who has reminded us that this sold for 1.2 million yen, which came out at over $11,000. Now, on the one hand, you can look at this as being quite similar because it is an anniversary gift that was sent out to employees. But this is not the same. That was amazing, don't get me wrong, but that was a deck box. That is not the same as what we've got going on here with an actual deck of a bunch of exclusive cards. If that deck box is worth $11,000, I dread to think what this is actually worth, because goodness gracious me, this is so much cooler. Now, the other ridiculous card, which we didn't know about, which has since gone and been revealed, is actually a brand new, never-before-seen stadium card. And I don't know if this is one that was essentially made but scrapped for some reason, or whether this is a card that might be released in the future, or whether it's a special one they knocked up just for this. I have absolutely no idea whatsoever, honestly. But yeah, the chances, like I say, the deck box never being made commercially available, don't expect this to be made either. Now, what we've got here is a stadium which is apparently called History Gate Stadium, and I did get a translation from the rather lovely Alpha TCG, and essentially what it says is that all HP and damage from cards released between 1996 and 2000 is multiplied by 2. So any cards released between 96 and 2000 have double HP and do double damage, which incidentally is a brilliant effect for a card, and I absolutely love it. You'll notice that like all the other cards in the set, it is stamped with the 25th anniversary logo. That was from Shibuzo over on Instagram, I think Instagram, as is basically a list of all the cards. Now, what is interesting here is we actually have a card from 95. Yes, that is before the game launch, that's a prototype, and we essentially have one a year going all the way up to 2021. Now, we're not going to dig in on every single one of these cards. You know, things like Pikachu and Zekrom. We know Pikachu and Zekrom. We've seen it a million times before. We don't need to have a chat about it. What is kind of interesting is that, you know, we've got a couple there. So, for instance, we've got Tapu Lele and Mew EX, and Rocket Zapdos and Charizard, all of which were 25th anniversary collection cards over in Japan. So they actually look pretty much exactly what they looked like, Mewtwo as well, in the 25th anniversary collection. So those cards don't look particularly different in any real way. They are basically just the same kind of cards again. But what is interesting is we've got all these other classic cards that do look a little different. So, for instance, we've got Uxie. Now, I have been on record as saying that Uxie should have been one of the cards in the 25th anniversary subset. As far as I'm concerned, not having Uxie in there was... I understand why, but anyone who played back in a Diamond and Pearl era will know that Uxie was just... like, it's hard to overstate quite how ubiquitous Uxie actually was. It's a little bit ridiculous. Uxie was absolutely everywhere, so that card really should have been included. Similarly, we've got the Sneasel there from Neo Genesis, the one that ended up getting banned because even though it doesn't look particularly good nowadays, it actually at the time was so ridiculously overpowered that it just had to end up being banned. There's also various energy cards. So, for instance, you'll notice there's multiple different types, the best of which is your Call of Legends energy, or your Heart Gold Soul Silver energy, the Lightning one featuring Ampharos, which is clearly absolutely amazing. And essentially what you've just got there is one card from every year, plus you've then got Switch, Pokeball, and the new stadium to kind of go along and finish it out. And you can agree or disagree with their choice of cards as we go through. That's honestly not terribly important. This is just absolutely amazing. And if you are a collector of any of the artists or Pokemon featured here, you're gonna have a little bit of trouble. One thing I do find kind of interesting is, you know, we got a run of energy from 2012 to 2014, which won't make some people happy, and again from 2001 to 2003, but we've got some truly iconic cards there. Mewtwo EX, Tapu Lele, Pikachu and Zekrom, obviously base set Charizard, Uxie, Sneasel. These are cards which are just absolutely iconic from back where they were. Shout out also to having a single complete evolution line there, because you will notice that you've got a Charmander and a Charmeleon and a Charizard all featured at one point, which is kind of beautiful. I do also feel the need to point out that the card from 2020 was the Marnie full art from Shiny Star V, which did become the most sought after and expensive card from Shiny Star V. It did supplant the Charizard we all thought was going to take the crown. Obviously over here we got it in the Marnie Premium Tournament Collection and that was nice and easy. Not the case over in Japan. This is absolutely amazing, but unfortunately, as I've already said in this video, the deck box 5 years ago never got a commercial release. There is absolutely no reason whatsoever to believe that this will. Expect this to remain a super sought after deck, call it what you will, that was only given to the illustrators or staff. It's unclear exactly who got sent these, but a bunch of people have been sharing them on social media. They are very much out there. If these ever get sold, expect them to be over the top ridiculous. Like I say, the deck box from 5 years ago sold for $11,000, and I refuse to believe this could come anywhere near that. Because firstly, the hype for Pokemon is, growing all the time, and you've got things like that Charizard. Now, I don't know if there's any mark to distinguish that Charizard, but even if there isn't, you've still got things like the Pikachu and Zekrom, the prototype Chansey, and so on and so forth. It is weird that there are a few of these cards that were in the Classic Collection, so are basically just reprinted, but man, this is extremely cool, and I am frankly jealous of anyone that got one of these. I don't have one of these. I expect to never have one of these. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Weird news, not the news I was expecting, but man, this is amazing. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's up to you guys. I want to know what you think about this. I want to know how much you would pay for this. I want to have some predictions as to value. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWarsy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.